Welcome to this demonstration of the Django AutoTest command. This command is an extra package that you can install onto your Django project to give you a easier time creating test iterations with your Django workflow. Now, the AutoTest package combines two powerful features in Django. One is the existing auto rerun that happens when you use the run server and you change files, and it automatically regenerates the server. And the other is the ordinary Django test case harnesses. And what this command does is it takes advantage of both to allow you to rerun your tests when files change. I know some of you might be a bit cautious about that, but it's actually very useful when you have specific lists of problems that you need to get through, and rerunning the test suites can be actually kind of slow. So the aim of this package is to speed things up. So we're going to start by installing the package with pip install Django AutoTest command. And then once you have it installed, you need to set it in your app installed apps list. As you can see here, just AutoTest. And once it's installed and it's configured, it doesn't require any other packages other than Django itself. You can run manage py AutoTest, and then your apps that you want to test, or you can run the entire test suite. I actually have a quick way to run Django commands, so I'm going to run that. Now, one of the reasons I developed this package was because some of the projects that I work on take a long time to instantiate their databases. So every test iteration took a long time. Now, part of what this package does is it sets up the database schema only once. So once it's running, it'll rerun tests without having to go through this long step of recreating the database schema. This can save you a lot of time in your development process. In fact, so long does this the database step take that I'm actually going to pause the video so that you don't get bored listening to me go on. Okay, and we're back. And all that's happened is it finished setting up the database, and then it ran the tests. And as you can see here, we have two failures. Now what happens is that in my test, you can see these two failures here. Every time you change the file and save it, it'll rerun the test. You can see here, it's rerun. Now you'll notice that the first time it ran 7 tests, only 2 of which failed. The second time, it only ran the 2 failures. It didn't actually rerun everything. And that's because when you're dealing with tests, the first thing you want to do is try and deal with the failures that you can see. And this is what I call a target, a test target. And by default, it'll only target those that have caused errors. But you can actually select the target that you want as well. So say, for instance, we want to select the first one. And then we go in here, we try and fix it. And we come back here, and you'll see that it's only run that one test case. If we want to run them all, we can just press enter, and it will run them all when a change occurs. You see now it runs all of them as it did in the first iteration, and there's still 2 errors. Now let's assume that we've actually managed to come into our test cases or into one part of our site, and we've actually managed to fix these errors. It'll rerun. You can see it automatically works. And now this time, because there's no errors, whenever it detects a change, it'll just rerun the entire test suite. So it'll run every single test. And that includes when errors occur. It'll rerun all of the tests. It'll detect that there's errors, and therefore it'll continue to keep you up to date on whatever the failures are. And you'll notice that the actual running of the test is pretty quick once you've got past that database step. You'll also notice that I've added a feature in here where it'll tell you in your tab. So if you're working in a file over here, you can actually see if your tests are passing or not. And as long as you only run one of these commands at a time, it should be a pretty healthy way to work on your tests. So that pretty much concludes this demonstration. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful development process.